Hockey fans, we are live at the USA Hockey Arena at the Mitchell Kiefer Memorial Rink. When you come in to the USA Hockey Arena, just take a left, and this is the Olympic rink here as we are getting ready for the Division II State Championship between the Grosse Pointe Northmen and the Bloomfield-Birmingham Blackhawks. As taking a look at how both of these teams got here, let's pull up the bracket for Division II. And that's a little smaller than I wanted it to, but we'll have it on the window there as that should pop up. But taking a look at where we were at and how we got here. If I pull up this, it started off in Division II as Grosse Pointe North played Troy United, and they won that one by a score of 9-1. On the bottom side of the bracket, it was Sacred Heart versus Regina Lutheran Northern, and Regina Lutheran Northern beat Sacred Heart 9-2. Then it ended up being Grosse Pointe North versus Regina Lutheran Northern. That was back on Wednesday, and it was Grosse Pointe North winning 5-4 over Regina Lutheran Northern. On the other side of the bracket, it was Bloomfield-Birmingham beating Cranbrook. That was 7-3 last Saturday, so they advanced. On the other side, it was Walled Lake versus the Mid-Michigan Alliance, and that went into double overtime. Mid-Michigan Alliance won that one 4-3. Then it was Bloomfield-Birmingham versus the Mid-Michigan Alliance back on Wednesday, and that was a 7-3 win by Bloomfield-Birmingham over the Mid-Michigan Alliance out there. So we'll remove that small bracket there as the two teams have gathered up. Now taking a look at the regular season statistics for these two teams. See if I can make that a little bit bigger. It was Grosse Pointe North winning the East in Division II. They were overall 14-5-0. As in conference, in league, they played 11 games. They were 10 wins, 1 loss, no ties for 20 points to win the East Conference. On the other side, Bloomfield-Birmingham was 16-4-1-1 overall. They were 9-2 in conference with 1 overtime loss, so 9-3. So that's what it took to get here. Taking a look at the last 5 regular season games for these two teams. For Grosse Pointe North, their last 5 regular season games, they beat the Metro Jets U16 by a score of 9-3 back on February 3rd. Then they played Regina Lutheran Northern. That was a win on Saturday, February 4th, 9-2. Then they played Liggett, who's playing for the Division I championship later today. They lost to Liggett. Liggett won 5-1. Then they beat Grosse Pointe North beat Plymouth Canton Salem. That was on Wednesday, February 8th. That was a 10-0 game. Then they beat Ann Arbor Pioneer. That on February 11th. That was a 6-5 win. Taking a look at the last 5 regular season games for Bloomfield-Birmingham, as it was Bloomfield-Birmingham back on February 8th, beating Northville 9-2. They beat Washtenaw United 8-3. On February 18th, they beat Troy United 4-2. They lost the Mid-Michigan Alliance 2-1 back on February 25th, and then they beat Mid-Michigan Alliance on Sunday, February 28th, 6-4. Taking a look at the top players' stats for Grosse Pointe North as they're resurfacing ice, getting ready for this game, as Josie Cuter leads Grosse Pointe North with 94 points, that on 59 goals and 35 assists. Dobbs in second place, tied in second with 48 points, that on 30 goals and 18 assists. Alyssa Burney has also 48 points on 18 goals and 30 assists. Gabby Brum has 40 points on 18 goals and 22 assists. And Paige Martin has 30 points on 10 goals and 20 assists. Palacino has been the goalkeeper of note. She has played 21 games. She has a 3.56 goals against average and 8.79 save percentage for Grosse Pointe North. Over on Bloomfield-Birmingham, taking a look at their players' statistics, it is Summerow, who is leading the way with 66 points on 47 goals and 19 assists. Reebok in the number 2 spot with 59 points on 39 goals and 20 assists. Catherine Rittmeyer has 21 points on 9 goals and 12 assists. Emmett has 12 points on 7 goals and 5 assists. And Pleisier has 11 goals on 11 points on 11 assists. It has been Culbertson between the pipes for all 20 games. She has a 3.18 goals against average and an 8.74 save percentage. So we are getting ready to go. They're resurfacing the ice here, and we're about to get underway for the Division II State Championship in the Michigan Girls High School Hockey League, as we will hop on, and we will be right back. We're going to play a little bit of music, and we will be back with your opening starting lineups and the national anthem here for the Division II State Championship in the Michigan Girls High School Hockey League. Let's just get a little music for a moment. We will be right back. As the teams are getting ready to hop out onto the ice. As the ice is resurfaced, nets put back on their moorings. As you can hear, nice big crowd here for the Division II State Championship as Grosse Pointe North heads out onto the ice. As they get set, they'll be on the, let me get that set. Try and pull that down a little bit so you can hear me and not just the crowd noise. It's fantastic crowd noise out here, but we don't want to override that. As we come back there, let me get that set. Grosse Pointe North is in the home white jerseys with the green on the sleeves, the big block N on the front, numbers in green on the back and on the sleeves, outlined in yellow, green helmets and green pants. On the other side, Blackhawks in their dark jerseys with the purple numbers on the back and looks like on the sleeves, as they have the nice lettering diagonally down the front of their jerseys. As everyone being welcomed to USA Hockey Arena, we're getting ready to go as they're counting down. As both squads getting warmed up. And we will have starting lineups in the national anthem in just looks like about 3.5 minutes. As this USA Hockey Arena today is the home of the state championships. Not only do you have the Division II Girls State Championship happening today at 10 o'clock, the Division I Michigan Girls High School Hockey League State Championship is happening at 2 o'clock for Division I, as that is Grosse Pointe South versus University of Liggett. Also, the men's championships are going on as well across the way in the rink just back behind us, as we are in the Mitchell Kiefer Memorial Rink here. This is where Detroit Catholic Central plays their home games. Again, everyone getting ready to go, warmed up, and we're looking forward to a fantastic game today. We appreciate you watching wherever you are at. Thank you for your support of all these wonderful, amazing teams. As we have a fantastic crowd, lots of folks in here for Grosse Pointe North. Right in front of us to the left, Bloomfield-Birmingham Blackhawks have a large number of fans here as well, and it's great to see the support. We love to see it for this amazing sport and these amazing athletes. As folks continue to get warmed up here. Again, the regular season, it was Bloomfield-Birmingham with a 16-4-1-1 overall record, as they had in league 9 wins, 2 losses, 1 overtime loss. They had 19 points. That was 1 ahead of Walled Lake, who was right behind them in the West Conference. They had on the regular season 65 goals for and 40 goals against. That compared to Grosse Pointe North, who had a 14-5 0-0 overall record. They had a 10-1, 10 wins, 1 loss in league. They had 20 points. They had 94 goals for. So they had just about 29 more goals for did Grosse Pointe North. And then goals against, Grosse Pointe North had 9 less at 31. But, of course, it only matters what happens in this game. Taking a look at the league honors, taking a look at Division II, it was Palacio as the first team Division II goalkeeper for Grosse Pointe North. And Culbertson was the Division II. Was the second team Division II player of the year for goalie. So both Palacio and Culbertson 1 and 2 there. Taking a look at the defensive team all states. Bloomfield-Birmingham had Hentigen on the Division II second team. And also honorable mention to Emmon for Bloomfield-Birmingham. And then on the offensive side, it was Josie Cutter with the first team offense for Grosse Pointe North. And first team offense as well for Summerall for Bloomfield-Birmingham. Grosse Pointe North in the second team Division II. Dobbs picked up on the second team, as well as Alyssa Burney is second team Division II for Grosse Pointe North. Honorable mentions: Bloomfield-Birmingham senior Jesse Reebok was in the honorable mention in offense for Division II. So a couple wonderful, excellent players getting mentioned for both of these teams, and you wouldn't think it would be any other way with these two ending up in the finals. As Josie Cutter, by the way, leads all players in offensive statistics with her 94 points. That is 14 more than second place Sydney Schaefer from Sacred Heart. She has 59 goals. Sydney Schaefer had 66, but Josie Cuter has 35 assists, that to 14 for Schaefer. As everyone being welcomed by the public address announcer across the way, as large cheers here. As the Grosse Pointe Norsemen versus the Bloomfield Blackhawks. You can hear both teams are well supported here in today's game. As coming out for Grosse Pointe is Brunton. Next out is Josie Cuter. Grace Cuter also starting. Also coming out is Benjamin, as well as Grace Cuter. And Palacio in between the pipes, the first team goaltender for Division II. Now on the other side, the Bloomfield-Birmingham Blackhawks will have their starting lineup. Now for the Blackhawks. Summerall skates out to the blue line for the Blackhawks. As also coming out is Reebok. Skating out down the far side is pulling up is Catherine Reitmeyer. Next coming out is Jim. And between the pipes is Culbertson between the pipes. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Donner America, the playing of the national anthem. as this is the 25th anniversary of the Michigan Girls High School Hockey League. 25 years ago on March 15, 1998, the Michigan Metro Women's Hockey League had their first championship at City Arena in Detroit. Liggett, Grosse Pointe South, Grosse Pointe North, Bloomfield, Cranbrook, all part of the start of the league. Bill Petrie will be on site, was the first coach of Liggett and is going to be here today. Cranbrook beat Liggett in the final 2-1 in front of 275 fans. Liggett had beaten Grosse Pointe South 4-1. Bloomfield 3-0 to get in. This is the second oldest league in the U.S., first in Michigan. As the Blackhawks gathered around Colbert, to our left, Grosse Pointe North gathered around their coaching staff right across the way as we are about to get underway here in the first 15 minutes up on the clock. As Summerow in to take the face-off for the Blackhawks. Catherine Reitmeyer to her right. To her left is Reebok. Out for Grosse Pointe North. In to take the face-off is Josie Cuter. To her left is Brum. And to her right is going to be Alyssa Burney. As that puck all the way in along the back boards as Grace Cuter fires it all the way back into the Birmingham zone. Blackhawks go to pick it up, but that is going to be icing and head right back into the Grosse Pointe North zone. 14:49 left to go here in the first, in the opening moments of the Division II state championship for the Michigan Girls High School Hockey League. Face off to the right of Palacino. As in to take the face off is Reebok. And versus Josie Cuter, that puck all the way back into the neutral zone. Corral trying to pull it back over, and head over was Reebok. That puck back and offsides the call. Face-off will be in the far face-off circle just outside of the Blackhawk zone. As Martin in to take the face-off for Grosse Pointe. On the other side is Summerow. And puck loose right at the blue line, brought back into the Blackhawk zone, in along the far boards. That chip top of the far circle, trying to pull it back in deep is Martin, chipping away at it. That comes all the way to the near point. And is trying to hold it in over there was Villani. Villani sends it right back. That picked up back behind the goal. Banked off of the far boards. Is trying to fire it ahead is Reebok. That puck outside the far circle, putting it back deep. Villani right back behind the goal, comes into the near corner. 14:08 left to go here in the first. 0-0 is the score. Racing ahead, coming down. Here comes the Blackhawks. Gaining the zone is Summerow. Shot and deflected in along the far boards. Battle for it out, trying to pull that away is Schneiders. As it at the far point, that shot goes right past, just wide of the near circle. And coming back, held in at the near point, but whistled as Tabin fires it back deep. And we'll have a face-off that's going to be in the near face-off circle just outside of the Grosse Pointe North zone. As offsides was called. Gross in to take the face-off versus Josie Cuter. At 13:43, scoreless so far. That controlled by Josie Cuter as she comes. Banks it off the far boards, racing ahead. Here comes Allison Burney. As Alyssa Burney fires it back in along the end boards. Grabbed by the Blackhawks into the far corner. Josie Cuter centering it and tipped right back behind. Fired around as that was sent around the boards by Hedgen. Outside the near circle, trying to pull that away into the near corner. Josie Cuter fires it out in front. Cuthbert knocks it away. The puck outside the near circle is firing it ahead. That comes all the way back into the Grosse Pointe zone. Keith has it there. Keith banks it off the far boards. Racing ahead to get it is Alyssa Burney. Alyssa Burney fires it over to Josie Cuter. Josie Cuter on the far circle, trying to make her way in. Josie Cuter! Oh, that just goes wide into the near corner. Pucked up there by the Blackhawks, trying to bring it ahead. Down the boards is LaHood Circus. Sarkis, that comes back onto the near circle. Blackhawks bank it back into the neutral zone. That racing all the way back into the Northman zone is Cleland, has it. Right back behind her own goal, Cleland banks it off the far boards, trying to fire it ahead to Alyssa Burney. Alyssa Burney all the way down. Here comes Dobbs. Dobbs into the zone. Dobbs, top of the near circle. Is that swept away? Good defensive play back there by the Blackhawks. Is that puck pulled all the way down the far boards, racing ahead with it. Coming in here is Summerow. Summerow underneath the far circle. Is that's going to be a tripping call? As the Blackhawks are going to be on the power play penalty to Grosse Pointe North for tripping at 12:05, and into the box is going to go number 19, which is Keith. Bloomfield-Birmingham now on the power play face-off in the far face-off circle inside of the Grosse Pointe North zone. As that puck in along the far boards. All the way back in along the end boards, picked up by Emmett. Emmett coming down on the far boards. Emmett over on blue line, cuts through the neutral zone. Emmett drop pass as that's moved over by Catherine Reitmeyer. Top of the far circle, controlled by the Blackhawks as Summerow has it. Centering attempt, that chipped all the way back into the near corner of the Grosse Pointe zone. Gathered up there by Grace Cuter. Fires it back behind. Josie Cuter has it on the far circle. Puck loose, trying to pull it down. Reebok down top of the near circle, coming that shot. This goes wide by Emmett. Outside the far circle, picked up there by Summerow. Summerow comes high slot. Summerow trying to make her way through the slot. That knocked down outside the near circle. Emmett has it, but a whistle. Summerow shaken up. She's on a knee, slow to get up. We hope she's all right. She pops to her skates. 11 minutes, 10 seconds left to go here in the first. Scoreless so far, 1:05 left to go on the Blackhawk power play. And this is going to be two players now in the penalty box for Grosse Pointe North. So another penalty. It is going to be, they don't have it up on the box, but but it's going to be 5-on-3 for the Blackhawks. As into the box goes Josie Cuter, excuse me. That puck and along the near boards, gathered up as trying to fire it ahead. Grace Cuter gets it all the way into the neutral zone. Now coming the other direction, coming in Catherine Reitmeyer. That banked all the way back into the neutral zone, racing ahead with it. Dobbs gets it back into the Blackhawk zone. Dobbs has it tipped away. There's a shot. Save, and now picked up the Blackhawks. Bank it off the near boards as they send it into the Grosse Pointe zone. As that is going to be icing. That's going to head right back into the Blackhawks zone. 39 seconds left of 5-on-3 hockey for the Blackhawks on the power play. But that faceoff is going to be back in the Blackhawks zone. The officials talking to the scorer's bench. 1 minute 34 seconds left in the second penalty. As everyone skates down to the left. Now there are 4 Grosse Pointe players out. So they're going to take one of the penalties off. That the penalty to Josie Cuter comes off the board. So that leaves 39 seconds of 5-on-4. As Josie Cuter comes out. So I'm not sure what happened with that, but we'll X off that. As a wonderful loud crowd here, but couldn't hear the public address announcer with what happened there. So face-off is going to be in the far face-off circle as that is to Culbertson's left. Is in Josie Cuter in to take that face off versus Summerall. Puck top of the far circle. That knocked away. Good job by Emmett. Having it in along the far boards. Emmett backhands it to the far point. That grab. Top of the far circle. Josie Cuter trying to get to it. That pull to the blue line. Now here comes the Blackhawks through the neutral zone. Battle for it right at center ice. Josie Cuter coming into the zone. Josie Cuter centering. And pulled and coming down with it, Dobbs. Dobbs on the far circle, centering attempt off the side of the net, put in! As that actually put on the side of the net, slipped inside that far corner. And that is a goal for Grosse Pointe North. Short-handed goal, 12 seconds left on the power play. And Grosse Pointe North goes up 1-0 at 10:16. One to nothing, Grosse Pointe North with the lead. Still 12 minutes left on the power play for the Blackhawks as Josie Cuter trying to pull that in along the far boards. She pulls it into the zone, firing it that tips into the far corner. Gathering it up back there is Hentgen. Hentgen fires it top of the far circle, and puck in along underneath the far circle. As Dobbs with the goal, Josie Cuter with the assist. That puck in the neutral zone. Josie Cuter has it coming over center ice. Josie Cuter gets into the zone. Josie Cuter in the high slot and tipped away and fired by the Blackhawks all the way down the ice. That will be icing as that'll go. Shot from the wrong side of center ice and goes past the goal line. That'll go all the way back into the Blackhawk zone. Face off in the far face off circle, that to Culbertson's left. 9:32 left to go here in the first. 1-0. Grosse Pointe with the lead. That puck shot and saved by Culbertson, loose as it comes onto the near circle. Now pulled down the near boards, firing it ahead as that comes all the way racing in. Edmond with a shot that goes wide. Just to the near side, that was Reebok grabbing it. All the way back into the neutral zone. Summerall resets, swings the other direction, over on blue line. Summerall gets it ahead. Here comes Reebok. Reebok high slot. Reebok on the far circle. Reebok outside the far circle, trying to center it up for Summerall. Summerall drives it underneath the far circle. Shot, save, and a goal! As the Blackhawks have tied it up. Shot, and it was a save that came off to the near side and fired in. I believe firing it in was Catherine Reitmeyer. And we are all knotted up at 1-1. At 8:54. Face off right at center ice. Both teams back to full strength. Summerall in to take the face off versus Josie Cuter. Comes all the way back, racing over to get it is Keith. Outside the far circle, Keith in the Grosse Pointe zone. Puts it in along the near boards. Coming ahead with it is Crawford. Crawford fires it that back to the Blackhawks blue line, right into center ice. Coming the other direction, Dobbs gets it into the zone. That puck into the far corner. Dobbs, who had the first goal of the game. Catherine Reitmeyer on the goal. Summerall on the assist coming in. Here comes Josie Cuter. Josie Cuter on the near circle. Josie Cuter shot. That got blocked back behind as that was a good job by Emmett to pull it in along the near boards. Trying to get it out of the zone. That held in, put back. Chip to the near point. Again held in. Fired back deep by Benjamin. Shot that comes back in along the end boards. Hentgen fires it. That slips back into the neutral zone. Picked up by Catherine Reitmeyer. Catherine Reitmeyer gains the Grosse Pointe zone. Catherine Reitmeyer underneath the far circle. Sends it outside. There's a shot that deflects and covered up, and a save by Pellicino. 1-1 is our score. 7:44 left to go here in the first. Whoops. Thought I put that up. Let's try and get that one out there for the Blackhawks again. Face-off is going to be to Palacino's right in the Grosse Pointe zone. Gross in to take the face-off. On the other side is Martin. As that face-off chipped into the far corner, Martin chasing it. Pulled back by Catherine Reitmeyer, now trying to sweep it ahead. And puck loose right out in front, pulled back by Grace Cuter. Grace Cuter fires it down the boards and out into the neutral zone. Racing ahead, coming down in along the far boards was Brum. Trying to get it back, that back to the near point. Brum holds it in, fires it right back in along the end boards. Racing over to get it, Martin in along the end boards, right back behind the Blackhawk goal. Rubel fires it, that right to the blue line, held in, is grabbed by Martin, and that banked all the way back into the neutral zone. Coming ahead with it, here comes Levin. Levin outside the near circle. Levin puts it all the way back. That goes back to the far point as Plaisir has it, and now chipped all the way back into the Blackhawk zone. Icing waved off as that puck swung around outside the far circle. Trying to fire it ahead is Reebok. Reebok gets it into the neutral zone for the Blackhawks. Reebok comes in, high slot. Reebok backhanded shot, and a save by Palacino. That puck all the way back outside the far circle. Trying to fire it ahead, Reebok. Pinned against the boards as they lever it. A quartet working on it. Summerall holds it in as that sticked away by Palacino. Into the near corner it goes. Pulled back over by Catherine Reitmeyer, who has the Blackhawk goal. Shot from the far circle, goes wide. All the way back to the near point. Chip back into the neutral zone, racing ahead with it. Coming down the boards. That will be icing and head right back in. Face-off is going to be in the Grosse Pointe zone in the near face-off circle. In the near circle, that puck trying to pull away. Now top of the near circle coming in. There's a shot and a goal as firing it in. Summerall gives the Blackhawks a 2-1 lead at 5:53. Grosse Pointe scored first, but two unanswered goals by the Blackhawks have them up 2-1 with 5:53 left to go. As Summerall fired it in, will get the assist. Grosse Pointe North quickly talking things over with the coaching staff. Summerall to the bench as he's still sitting, or excuse me, Summerall. Palacino is right to the bench. Now she skates back to our right. Hopefully everything's all right with her equipment. As Josie Cuter in to take the face-off versus Summerall. Comes to the blue line. Trying to fire it ahead is Benjamin coming down. As here comes Dobbs. Dobbs is it into the near corner. Blackhawks trying to peel it out of the zone. That tipped, held in right at the near point by Dobbs. And chipped through the neutral zone, right through the neutral zone, coming ahead with it. Racing in, here comes Reebok. Reebok top of the far circle with a shot that goes wide. Puck outside the near circle. Josie Cuter now into the neutral zone through center ice. Josie Cuter comes into the high slot. That fired back over. Blackhawks bank it off the far boards. Racing in, Reebok has it. As Catherine Rittmeyer, number 10 on the assist, as well as Reebok on the Summerall goal. As that put the Blackhawks up. .508 left to go. Face-off in the far face-off circle, just outside of the Grosse Pointe zone as Martin in to take the face-off. And coming ahead with it, Martin gains his own high slide. Shot and a score from the high high slot by Martin, and that makes it 2-2 as that managed to slip through into the back of the goal. And at 5:01, we're back to a tie game. As both of these powerful offenses having their say early on. All knotted up at 2 apiece here. 5:01 left to go here in the first. Martin in to take the face off. On the other side, Grosse for the Blackhawks comes to the blue line, fired ahead by Leah Burney all the way back. Martin on the goal. Grace Cuter on the assist as the puck into the far corner. Steiner attempt that goes all the way around the boards outside the near circle. As firing it back deep was Grace Cuter into the near corner. That slips right back behind the Blackhawk goal, trying to get to Villani. Comes outside the far circle. Villani has it there. Tipped away. The Blackhawks have it. Racing ahead. They fire it right to center ice. And pulled back by Grace Cuter. Banks it off the near boards. Gathered up by Grosse, who fires it all the way back and into the Grosse Pointe zone. Trying to fire it away. That tip back as Leah Burney had it. And shot goes all the way back and along the far boards. Gathered up there, chipped back in by the Blackhawks. Now right at center, here comes Josie Cuter. Josie Cuter gets it into the Blackhawks zone, but that's sent right back to the Grosse Pointe blue line. Josie Cuter, Grace Cuter gets it back in along the neutral zone and sent outside the far circle. Reebok with it. Reebok trying to center it up, trying to get it over to Catherine Reitmeyer. Now down the near boards. Here comes Josie Cuter. Josie Cuter gains the zone. Josie Cuter outside the near circle into the near corner. Josie Cuter has that poked away as the puck outside the near circle. And lifted all the way back into the neutral zone. Fired right back in by Alyssa Burney. Shot and a save as that's frozen by Culbertson. 3:21 left to go here in the first. 2-2 is our score here at the Division II State Championships for the Michigan Girls High School Hockey League. Face-off in that far face-off circle. As in to take the face-off. Martin in there versus Summerow. The puck back to the far point. Held in there by Keith, now knocked away. Here comes Reebok. Reebok getting into the slot. Reebok has that poked away as a very good defensive play by Benjamin to stop a rush by the Blackhawks. Martin gets it all the way back. Summerow has it in the Blackhawks zone, coming in along the far board. Summerow trying to get past the Grosse Pointe North defenders right to the blue line. Now Reebok fires it down the far boards. As that shot deflected out in front by Grosse Pointe, now banked off of the near boards. Racing ahead with it. And plucked up, coming down the near boards now. And brought into the zone as that was fired back deep. A puck into the far corner. Blackhawks with it. Blackhawks coming down the boards as bringing it in. That flipped around by Tabin. At the top now, here comes Josie Cuter down the near boards through neutral zone. Josie Cuter into the slot on the near circle, coming in. That poke checked away by Culbertson as that puck into the far corner. 2:14 left to go as Josie Cuter got right to the crease, and very timely poke check by Culbertson. Put it into the far corner. Net came off of its morning, so they'll whistle it dead. Face off in the far face off circle down to Culbertson's left. 2-2 is our score with 2:14 left to go here in the first. Division II State Championship 25th anniversary of this league. Martin in to take the face off. On the other side is Grosse. That puck into outside the far circle. Sent back by Alyssa Burney. Sent deep and along the near boards, trying to pull it ahead. Racing ahead with it is Emmett. Gains his own. Emmett, top of the near circle in the Grosse Pointe edge. Shot, that's a save by Palacino. A puck into the far corner, trying to pull it ahead is Alyssa Burney. Loose on the far circle, now fired ahead by Leah Burney. That coming ahead, racing with it. Here comes Dobbs. Dobbs in the slot with a shot, and Culbertson with the save. 1 1:39 left to go here in the first. 2-2 is our score. Both squads have had some fantastic opportunities. Both netminders have been really tested so far early. Face-off is going to be in the near face-off circle. That to the right of Culbertson. In to take the face-off is Summerow. As Josie Cuter on the other side. There's a shot by Dobbs. Saved by Culbertson. Comes top of the far circle. Now bringing it ahead. Reebok fires it, that in along the near boards. Josie Cuter has it, stealing it away. Josie Cuter over on blue line through center ice. Josie Cuter gains the zone. Josie Cuter through the slot. Coming in, backhanded shot and a score. Josie Cuter, you see why she has the lead in points throughout the season as she weaved through traffic, came in and took that extra second to cut across the crease and find the open near side and backhand it in. As Josie Cuter gives Grosse Pointe North the lead, as it was Grosse Pointe North who scored first. Then the Blackhawks tied it up at 1-1. Blackhawks took the 2-1 lead, but two straight goals by Grosse Pointe North has them in the lead. 3-2, that's an unassisted goal by Josie Cuter coming down the near boards. Trying to bring it ahead, and in along the end boards, Edmond has it. That is going to be icing, and that'll head all the way back into the Grosse Pointe North zone. Face-off is going to be in the near face-off circle. That to Palacino's left. As Martin in to take the face-off for Grosse Pointe. On the other side is Summerow for the Blackhawks. 1 minute, 10 seconds left to go here in the first. 3-2, Grosse Pointe with the lead. Summerow trying to have it. That fired all the way back into the Blackhawks zone. Racing over to pick it up. Hengen has it back behind her own goal. Banked it off the near boards. As the Blackhawks get it into the neutral zone. That slips all the way back into the Grosse Pointe zone. That'll be icing, and that'll head back into the Blackhawks end. 51 seconds left to go here in the first. 3-2. Norseman with the lead over the Blackhawks. Face-off in the near face-off circle. That to Culbertson's right. And Summerwind to take the face-off for the Blackhawks. Josie Cuter on the other side. And puck top of the near circle as Benjamin trying to get it. That pulled out into the neutral zone. Here comes Reebok. Reebok gains the zone. Reebok and swept into the near corner. Josie Cuter just getting out, making it difficult. Coming the other direction is Brump. Brump trying to get it over to Josie Cuter. That fired the other direction by Summerow. The puck into the near corner. That'll be icing and head all the way back into the Bloomfield-Birmingham end. 29 seconds left to go here in the first. 3-2. Grosse Pointe with the lead, but this lead has gone back and forth 3 times already. Face-off in that near face-off circle. That to Culbertson's right. Summerow in to take the face-off. The other side looks like it's going to be Alyssa Burney. Or no, excuse me, Josie Cuter comes in to take that. Is that puck at the near point? Shot there, tipped out in front. That goes into the near corner as Leah Burney got her stick right in the way, trying to deflect it in. Puck into the far corner, battle for it in along the end boards. Emmett trying to reach it. The puck outside the near circle is trying to pull that ahead as Catherine Reitmeyer. Bouncing puck on the far circle, slips all the way top of the far circle. Here comes Emmett. Emmett down the far boards in her own zone. Emmett feeds it ahead. Reebok through center ice. Reebok and chip back, and that will do it for the first. At the end of 1, it is Grosse Pointe North 3 and the Bloomfield-Birmingham Blackhawks 2. Again, this is the 25th anniversary, 25 years ago. On March 15, 1998, the Michigan Metro Women's Hockey League had their first championship at City Arena in Detroit. And a couple of the participants here were members at the time. Liggett, Grosse Pointe South, Grosse Pointe North, and Bloomfield all playing in the championships today. We're all members, as well as Cranbrook. We're part of the start of the league. As it was Liggett who beat Grosse Pointe South 4-1. Those two teams will play again later today for the Division I championship. That will be at 2 o'clock here. And coming into the second, it is Grosse Pointe North 3, the Bloomfield-Birmingham Blackhawks 2. Is taking a look, it was a score at 11:0, or excuse me, it was a penalty at 11:05 as Keith went in for tripping. There's another penalty that was stricken away. Then it was a Grosse Pointe goal by Dobbs, assist to Josie Cuter at 10-16. That put Grosse Pointe up. Then coming back, the Blackhawks scored as it was Catherine Reichmeyer putting it in at 8:54 to tie it up. Summerall on the assist. Then the Blackhawks took the lead at 5:35 as Summerall put it in. The assist was, the assist was to Catherine Reitmart as well as Reebok. And then it was a Grosse Pointe North goal as that was put in at 5:01, score by Martin, assist to Grace Cuter. And then the go-ahead goal at 1:17 as Josie Cuter weaved around traffic, got in, cut through the crease, backhanded it in at 1:17 to take the lead. Now we're into the second here. High-scoring game so far. The puck into the far corner as Grosse Pointe going from left to right. Blackhawks going from right to left here in this second period, trying to pull it out of the zone. There was Brum. All the way back to the Blackhawks blue line. Now bringing at his Tabit. And intercepted. Josie Cuter gains the zone, top of the far circle. Josie Cuter outside the far circle. That shot got deflected right back behind as an excellent job back over there by Palacier, knocking it away. The puck all the way back into the Grosse Pointe zone. Racing back to get it. Grace Cuter chips it ahead, right back to center ice, pulling it the other direction. Fulton gets it deep into the Grosse Pointe zone. 14-12 left to go here in the second. 3-2. Grosse Pointe with the lead. Held in at the near point by Plaisir. Now chip back into the neutral zone as they'll come back into the Blackhawk zone. Racing over to get him. Plucked up by Fulton, back behind. Coming. Tabin has it down the far boards and deflected right back in along the end boards. Gathered up back there by Gross. Gross sends it to the far point, held in there by Grace Cuter. Now coming ahead with it. Coming in, here comes Reebok with a shot and a save by Palacio. 13:39 left to go here in the second. 3-2. Grosse Pointe North with the lead over the Bloomfield-Birmingham Blackhawks. Face-off in the far face-off circle as Summerall in to take the face-off for the Blackhawks. Josie Cuter on the other side for Grosse Pointe. Face-off swept in along the far boards as that's held in at the far point by Reebok, now intercepted, coming the other direction. Here comes Alyssa Burney. Alyssa Burney chips it and loose along the near boards and brought right back out into the neutral zone. Right to the Grosse Pointe blue line. Moving over, Emmett has it over to Reebok. Reebok gains his own for the Blackhawks. Reebok coming high slot. Reebok. Drop pass. There's a shot by Summerall. Another shot by Reebok. Goes all the way back to the far point where Emmett holds it in. Emmett puts it right back behind the Grosse Pointe North goal. Trying to chip it away back. There is Keith. Josie Cuter has it. In along the far boards. Josie Cuter over into the neutral zone. Knocked away right at center ice. Brought back into the Grosse Pointe zone. Keith has it down the near boards. Deflects it ahead. And intercepted by Hentgen, who puts it into the neutral zone. Trying to grab it. Coming down the near boards. Alyssa Burney gets it right back into Blackhawk zone. Intercepted by Summerall. Summerall over center ice. Summerall gains his own. Summerall top of the near circle. Shot goes wide and along the far boards. All the way back to the far point. Brought out by Dobbs. Dobbs racing ahead. One-on-one. Dobbs coming in. Dobbs has that chipped away. Excellent defensive play by Hentgen. outside the near circle. Dobbs with it. Dobbs trying to center it loose outside the near circle. Now into the near corner. Martin with it. Martin underneath the near circle. Martin shot and knocked down. Still out in front. Now swept away and along the far boards. Racing ahead the other direction. Here comes the Blackhawks. Coming in with it is Levin. Levin comes in. And poke back to the far point. Trying to hold it in there. Grosse Pointe fires it all the way back. Racing in along the near boards is Fulton. Fulton has it. Fulton chips it out into the neutral zone is Tabin. Keith right at her own blue line. Gets it over to Josie Cuter. Josie Cuter down the near boards in neutral zone over center ice. Josie Cuter gains the zone on the near circle. Josie Cuter makes a move. Backhanded shot and a save by Culbertson into the near corner. And puck loose now fired all the way down the ice. That will be icing and then back into the Blackhawks zone. 11:14 left to go. Here in the second, 3-2. Grosse Pointe with the lead over the Blackhawks. Faceoff is going to be in the near faceoff circle and to Culbertson's left. Five goals in the first period, none so far here in the second. As Josie Cuter in to take the faceoff. As that was on the other side, pulled back out by Gross. Puck fired all the way around by Alyssa Burney. And out in front, loose on the near circle. Josie Cuter pulls it back behind, cuts out in front, backhanded shot, and tipped away. Another shot couldn't get past the traffic. Now coming the other direction, here comes Emmett. Emmett into the zone, Emmett, top of the far circle, Emmett. Now that knocked away by Alyssa Burney. All the way back to Josie Cuter. Josie Cuter at her own blue line through center ice. Josie Cuter gains the zone as that was poked away by Henchen into the near corner. Is getting a stick on the puck, keeping a good offensive play away. There's a shot from the near point, sticked away as that was Benjamin with the shot. That goes into the far corner. Lifted all the way back to the far point, held in by Grosse Pointe. Shot there as Culbertson covers it up. As right on the doorstep was Alyssa Burney. 10:14 left to go here in the second. 3-2. Grosse Pointe with the lead over the Blackhawks. Face-off in the far face-off circle. Couple ACHA college coaches in the building that I see out there. Puck in along the far board. Summerall gets it back into the neutral zone. Pucked up there. Leah Burney trying to get it down in along the near boards. Brum trying to hold it in. That brought back. Here comes Reebok hands it. Reebok over to Summerall. Summerall back to Reebok underneath the near circle shot. And into the far corner. Palacio got a glove on it. The puck outside the far circle comes back to the far point. Held in there by the Blackhawks as they put it into the near corner of the Grosse Pointe zone. Reebok battling it there. Reebok onto the near circle. That chip back into the near corner by Martin. That puck pulled all the way around outside the far circle. Grab there. Josie Cuter has it chipped away. And puck back into the neutral zone. Summerall right at center ice. Summerall gets it to the Grosse Pointe blue line. And lifted ahead by Brum. All the way deep into the Blackhawk zone. Fired into the near corner. That grabbed ahead by Plaisir. All the way back into the Grosse Pointe zone. That'll be icing. And that'll head right back into the Bloomfield-Birmingham end. 9:07 left to go here in the second. 3-2. Grosse Pointe with the lead over the Blackhawks. At this point, again, 5 goals in the first. Face-off is going to be the near face-off circle. That is going to be to Culbertson's left. As Gross in to take the face-off versus Josie Cuter. Pull back, loose as Gross gets it into the neutral zone. Battle for it right at center ice, pulled away. Coming down the far boards, Dobbs has it. Dobbs on the far circle. Dobbs comes in, shot. Culbertson covers it up. And that will be gloved down and frozen. Face-off in the Blackhawks zone. 8:50 left to go here in this. The second period, 3-2. Grosse Pointe North with the lead over the Blackhawks. Face off in the far face-off circle. And it's going to be to the right of Culbertson. Josie Cuterin to take the face-off versus Gross. Is that puck loose on the far circle? Outside the far circle now. Emma trying to get it that right through. Centering attempt comes down the near boards. Here comes Reebok trying to get it down the zone. Held in by Alyssa Burney. And trying again, coming down the far boards. Hedgen fires it all the way ahead. Emmett fires it deep into the near corner of the Grosse Pointe North zone. Picked up there. Josie Cuter trying to pull it out of the near corner. Reebok trying to get it in as there's a quintet of players trying to pull it off of the board. Still battling. Still digging outside the near circle now. Coming in. Reebok with the shot. And saved by Palacio. All the way back outside the near circle. That comes into the neutral zone. Deep into the Blackhawk zone. That'll be icing, and that'll head right back in to the Grosse Pointe North end. 8:02 left to go. Here in the second, 3-2 is our score. Grosse Pointe North with the lead. Both squads have had continued chances here in the second. Face-off in the near face-off circle. Summerall in to take the face-off for the Blackhawks. Martin for Grosse Pointe on the other side. That puck right through the slot. Racing over to get it is Valenti. Valenti fires it all the way back into the neutral zone. Trying to chip it the other direction is Tabin. Tabin puts it deep into the Grosse Pointe end. That goes right back behind Palacino. The puck tipped. Summerall trying to hold it in. Battle for it outside the near circle. Summerall puts it back. Right back behind the Grosse Pointe goal. Back behind. Bedalo had it loose, centering attempt. Oh, that right through the slot. Top of the near circle, fired there by Palacier. Back behind the goal, coming down the far boards. Martin had it, chipped right back. Back behind Palacio. The puck outside the near circle. Palacier trying to hold it in, chipping away at it. Martin trying to dig it off the boards. Also over there, Brum trying to pull that away. The puck right to center ice, racing ahead with it. Here comes Valenti. Valenti goes down into the boards. That picked up and fired back to the blue line as penalty upcoming. And at 6:52, face-off is going to come back into the Grosse Pointe zone. There's no penalty called. The high stick puts it back into the Grosse Pointe zone. 6:52 left to go. That puck on the near circle. Brought back at the near point. That was deflected as it was fired by Hedgen. Coming all the way back. That put right back into the Grosse Pointe zone. But that'll be icing. It was fired from the wrong side of center ice. 6:39 left to go here in the second. 3-2. Grosse Pointe North with the lead. Face-off in the far face-off circle. That is to Culbertson's right. Josie Cuterin to take the face-off versus Gross. Snap puck loose on the far circle into the far corner. Hammond trying to get it down the zone. Held in at the far point. And rocketed there by Benjamin. It was right back behind the goal. Rimmed all the way around to the near point. Helped ahead by Schneiders. All the way back into the Grosse Pointe zone. In along the end boards as Benjamin has it back behind her own goal. Benjamin backhands it on the far circle. Gross with the shot that goes wide. Outside the far circle now. That plucked up. Here comes Dobbs. Dobbs comes over center ice. Dobbs down the near boards. Dobbs gains his own, but that is offsides. As they'll bring that puck back to the near face-off circle outside of the Blackhawk zone. 6:04 left to go. Here in the second, 3-2, Grosse Pointe North with the lead over the Blackhawks. Summerow in to take the face off. On the other side, Martin. As that puck right to the blue line, trying to pull it away. Brum had it, that back chipped ahead by Leah Burney. Comes right back behind the Blackhawk goal, banked in along the far boards. Racing to get it. And loose now, brought into the neutral zone. Gross through center ice, pulled back. Martin trying to get it the other direction. Pulled down. Here comes Grace Cuter. Grace Cuter gains the zone. Grace Cuter outside the far circle. Grace Cuter fires it. That tipped away as here comes Reebok the other direction for the Blackhawks. Reebok gets past the defense. Reebok coming on the near circle. Stop! That one all the way back outside the far circle. Summerow gets it back to the far point. Shot from there. Got deflected back behind the Grosse Pointe goal. That rimmed all the way back to the near point. Pulled ahead. Here comes Brum down the near boards. Chip back, loose at center ice. Trying to fire it ahead is Summerow. Then plucked up. Here comes Josie Cuter. Josie Cuter gains his own. Top of the far circle with the shot. And stick back by Culbertson in along the near boards. Lifted back to center ice. Now Leah Burney gets it back to Josie Cuter at center ice. Josie Cuter into the zone. That poke check right back to the blue line. Coming the other direction. Here comes Catherine Reitmeyer. Catherine Reitmeyer, top of the far circle. Gets it over to Summerow in the slot with the shot. And a score. Summerow ties it up as a shot from just on the inner corner of the near circle. And it's 3-3 at 4:38. Goal by the Bloomfield-Birmingham Blackhawks. As I believe that was Summerow who put it in. Let's get the assist on that, but we are all knotted up at 3 apiece here in the second. Face off right at center ice. Josie Cuter in to take the face off. On the other side is Gross. That puck brought back to the blue line in along the near boards. And plucked up, coming in. Here comes Alyssa Burney. Alyssa Burney outside the near circle. Alyssa Burney, oh, that goes right through the crease. In along the far boards. Martin there puts it on the far circle. Summerow with the goal. It's Catherine Reitmeyer, and the puck goes in as it was on the edge of the far side of the crease. Chipped in, and right back in front is Grosse Pointe North as we were waiting to get the assist on the last Blackhawk goal. And Grosse Pointe North able to take the lead right back at 4:10. As an epic battle between these two squads. 4-3, Grosse Pointe North with the lead. Whoa, Martin in to take the face off. Gross on the other side, right at center ice. It's Josie Cuter on the goal. As a goal by Cuter, coming ahead with it. Ella Dobbs on the assist. That puck into the near corner as it comes back to the near point. Racing ahead with it. Here comes Brum. Brum, top of the near circle. Brum. And chipped up and off the netting. As that is going to be a face-off in the Blackhawk zone. 3:36 left to go here in this, the second. Face off to the left of Culbertson into the near corner. Josie Cuter in to take the face off. Summerow on the other side as that puck. And along the near boards as Leah Burney gets it outside the near circle. Alyssa Burney comes, fires it right back behind the goal, trying to pull it away. A quartet digging away at it in along the end boards. And it slips right back behind the Blackhawk goal now. Josie Cuter gets it over loose, trying to fire it away was Alyssa Burney. And comes top of the far circle. Here comes Josie Cuter. Back over Alyssa Burney with a backhanded shot. That got blocked out in front by Summerow. As that puck plucked up, coming down, here comes Reebok. Reebok into the zone. Reebok on the far circle with the shot, and they score! As racing all the way the other way, Reebok going end to end and tying it up at 4 apiece, and we are back at an even game. 2:57. Did I say there wasn't any scoring in the second? Boy, that changed quick. As a goal by the Blackhawks at 2:57, and in the last less than 2 minutes, we've had 3 goals. 2 by the Blackhawks, 1 by the Norsemen. Martin in to take the face-off versus Summerow right at center ice. 2:57 left to go. And puck brought back as Reebok tied the game. Puck in along the end boards, trying to fire it around. Is Benjamin Emmett the assist, as well as Hengen. There's a shot by Summerow, save right out in front, another shot right from the low slot. Catherine Reitmeyer with the blast. That puck right back behind the Grosse Pointe North goal. Now plucked up, here comes Brunn. Brunn with one defender in front of her. Brunn comes top of the near circle with a shot that goes wide to the near side. Racing back behind to get it is Hengen, firing it in along the far boards. Martin has it outside the far circle. Hengen trying to fire it into the far corner. Josie Cuter trying to pull it off the boards now, headed down the far boards and fired right to center ice. Plucked up at the near point, now coming ahead with it, Keith. Deflected, Josie Cuter at center ice. Josie Cuter gains its own. Josie Cuter, top of the near circle with the shot, as that's knocked away by Culbertson. Shot from the top of the far circle. Oh, it sticked into the near corner. Excellent defensive play out there by Tabin to keep a scoring opportunity away from Grosse Pointe. Here comes Josie Cuter through center ice, weaving through traffic and poked away by Gross. Now coming the other direction. Here comes the Blackhawks as Schneider's added. Josie Cuter right at her own blue line. Heads through the neutral zone. Josie Cuter gains the zone. Josie Cuter with the blast. Culbertson with the save. 1 minute, 11 seconds left to go. 4-4 is our score, as we have been treated to a fantastic offensive game. 5 goals in the first, 3 here in the second so far. In to take the face-off, Martin versus Gross. In the near face-off circle, that to Culbertson's left. And puck loose on the near circle, chipped in along the near boards. Trying to pull it ahead is Emmett. Still chipping as Dobbs on the near circle, through the slot onto the far circle. Dobbs with the shot, saved by Culbertson. 56 seconds left to go, knotted up at 4 apiece. Blackhawks 4. Grosse Pointe 4. Face-off is going to be in the far face-off circle. That to Culbertson's right. Josie Cuter in to take the face-off. Summerow on the other side is ready to drop the puck. Now they get one more player on for the Blackhawks. That puck on the far circle, right in the slot. Shot wouldn't settle down. That puck sent all the way in along the near boards. Racing back to get it. Leah Burney has it at her own blue line. Leah Burney fires it ahead. Coming down the near boards is Alyssa Burney over to Josie Cuter. Josie Cuter on the far circle. That knocked away. Back behind by Emmett. Emmett puts it around the boards outside the far circle, bringing it ahead. As that comes all the way back. Reebok trying to get to it. Pulled back behind by Dobbs. Dobbs now over her own blue line. Dobbs through center ice. Tipped away by Summerow. Dobbs gets it back. Dobbs top of the far circle with the shot. That got deflected. Culbertson covers it up just on the far side of the goal. 14 seconds left to go here in the second. Is we will have an ice resurfacing between the second and third period. So it'll give you an opportunity to take a deep breath and prepare yourself for what's sure to be a fantastic third period. Face-off in the far face-off circle. That to Culbertson's right. As Ed Summerow versus Josie Cuter. Puck, high slot, slips back into the neutral zone. Leah Burney fires it down the far boards. Grosse Pointe has to touch up. Now coming down, here comes Summerow. Summerow down the near board. Summerow fires it deep. That chipped into the near corner. That will do it. As at the end of 2, it is 4-4. Grosse Pointe North 4, Bloomfield-Birmingham Blackhawks 4. We'll step away and play a little bit of music and come back with the all-important third period. This is the Division II State Championship for the Michigan Girls High School Hockey League, brought to you by Harbor Broadcasting. As we'll pull that down because the team's heading back out onto the ice as we have 4-4 Bloomfield-Birmingham Blackhawks versus the Grosse Pointe North Norsemen. Grosse Pointe North coming on to the ice now over to our right. Blackhawks already skating around. It'll be the Norsemen going right to left. Blackhawks going left to right here in this third period. Again, for the 25th anniversary of this league. And we're just excited to see so many people here enjoying this fantastic sport, supporting these amazing athletes. We are grateful for you. Couldn't be here, but we're grateful for you watching wherever you are at. Thank you very, very much. As getting ready to go, both squads gathered around their coaching staff across the way in that second period. It was a goal at 4:38 by the Blackhawks. Summerow put it in, and the assist was to Catherine Reitmeyer. Then Grosse Pointe took the lead again, that at 4:10, as that was put in, as Josie Cuter put it in, as Dobbs as well as Benjamin on the assist. Then at 2:57, it was a goal by Reebok, assist to Emmon as well as Hetchen, and that is the where we stand right now. Had to have a wonderful, wonderful discussion with Paul Dion, the league president, during the intermission, and we appreciate everything he does as that puck coming in along into the far boards. Chipped right back behind the Grosse Pointe goal. In along the near boards, Josie Cuter has it into the near corner, trying to hold away from Summerow. Those two have been battling all game long. Here comes Josie Cuter. Josie Cuter gains his own, trying to get through the slot, and coming over, shot and covered up by Culbertson. 14:31, the puck held in at the near point, chipped. Going over, Summerow banks it off the far boards and into the neutral zone. Emmett brings it ahead, gains the Grosse Pointe zone into the slot, shot, and knuckleballs into the far corner. Trying to pull it away, coming back. Here comes Alyssa Burney. And puck into the neutral zone. Josie Cuter picking it up, gaining the zone. Josie Cuter, high slot. Josie Cuter hold off of the puck on the far circle. Trying to fire it over is Alyssa Burney. And puck outside the far circle. Now swung around all the way back to the near point. The puck back into the Grosse Pointe zone, racing over to get it is Benjamin into the near corner. Benjamin goes back behind her own goal, stops there, comes underneath the near circle. Benjamin feeds it at the Dobbs and slips past all the way back into the Blackhawk zone. That is going to be icing, and that'll head right back into the Grosse Pointe end. 13:36 left to go here in the third. 4-4 is our score. Face-off in the near face-off circle. That is to the left of Palacino. Rosen to take the face-off versus Martin. All tied up at 4 apiece. And puck lifted top of the near circle. Now fed back. High slot pulled away. Here comes a breakaway. Racing ahead with it. Josie Cuter in. Fires, that was actually Brum with a shot as that pulled away. Here comes the Blackhawks. They put it in along the near boards. And puck deflects, picking it up. Here comes Grace Cuter. Grace Cuter gets it right to center. Coming in along the far boards. Brum now firing it ahead and slips back, picked up. Coming down the near boards, gaining the zone. Here comes Tabin. And put deep in along the M boards. Martin trying to feed it ahead, plucked up. Here comes Valeni. Down on the far boards, bringing it ahead, fired back by Braun, knocked down by the Blackhawks. Loose in along the far boards. Martin has it back in her own zone, tripping away at it. In along the far boards, and fired back deep by Levin. In along the M boards, picked up now down the near boards and ahead. Leah Burney gets it to the point, but held in. Racing over with it is Schneider's, and saved by Palacino. 12:29 left to go here in the third. 4-4 is the score. As after this third period, the athletic directors for both squads is Michelle Davis for Grosse Pointe North and Mike Cowdery for Bloomfield will be out, and the winning program, the athletic director, will give the hardware to the teams. The puck into the near corner. Hold ahead, trying to get the Dobbs. That held in. Summerow has it in the high slot. Summerow puts it in along the end boards. Chip back, top of the near circle. Now coming over, Reebok leaves it for Emmett. Outside the near circle, shot, save, and pull back through the slot. Wouldn't settle down for Summerow as she had it just on the corner of that far circle. Here comes Dobbs. Dobbs moves it over. Dobbs gets it to Josie Cuter. Pulled back away by Emmett. Loose in the slot. Picked up. Here comes the Blackhawks. All the way down. Reebok with it on the far circle. Reebok in. Shot. Save by Palacino. And puck all the way on the far circle. Dobbs gets it through the neutral zone. Banked off the near boards, and that into the near corner. Josie Cuter gets it outside the near circle. Dobbs trying to pull it away. That lifted all the way back into the Grosse Pointe zone. Keith has it, top of the near circle. Keith fires it down the far boards. Racing over to get it is Alyssa Burney. Pulled back in along the end boards by Hentgen. Gets it back into the neutral zone. Dobbs at center ice. Poked right back to center ice. Now gathering it up, coming down. Here comes Grace Cuter. Grace Cuter into the zone. Outside, Dobbs with the shot. That blocked out in front. Coming the other direction. Now Emmett had it. Martin puts it into the near corner, trying to get it away from Gross. That puck loose. Dobbs trying to fire it around. The puck to the near point. Now back into the neutral zone. And fired by Brum and along the far boards. Lifted ahead by Leah Burney. Deep into the Blackhawk zone. Collected back behind. As with it back there, Hentgen banks it off the near boards. Coming through center ice. That deflected. Brought into the Grosse Pointe zone and right back into the neutral zone. Gross for the Blackhawks. Fires it deep in along the end boards. Leah Burney back behind her own goal into the near corner. Leah Burney sends it. Stopped at the near point by Tabin. A puck all the way in along the far boards. And gathered up by Leah Burney. Swept ahead all the way down. Icing waved off as that'll go back deep into the Blackhawk zone. Plucked up back there by Fulton. Down on the near boards. Here comes the Blackhawks bringing it ahead. As Levin fires it now loose. Intercepted the other direction. Benjamin gets it to the blue line but can't get it out. Josie Cuter comes in along the end boards. Cuts in front of her own goal now. Coming over her own blue line. Josie Cuter over center ice down the near boards. Josie Cuter into the high slot with a shot that goes wide just to the near side. Centering attempt right through the crease. Comes outside the near circle. Coming over to get it, Alyssa Burney trying to hold it in. Now racing the other direction. Here comes Emmett. Emmett, top of the near circle. That goes into the near corner. Keith fires it all the way around the boards. And fired all the way back into the Bloomfield-Birmingham zone as that'll slip right back behind Culbertson. Plucked up there. Now down the near board, Summerow brings it back behind her own goal. Summerow down the far boards, trying to avoid pressure. Summerow cuts over the blue line, over center ice. Summerow gains his own. Summerow has that poked away, goes just wide to the near side in the Grosse Pointe zone. Flicked back to the near point, trying to hold it in and pull it over his engine. And pulled away by Martin. Gets it into the neutral zone. And fired right back in. Back, here comes Martin. Martin, one-on-one. Martin coming top of the far circle with a shot that goes wide to the far side. Back behind, 8:32 left to go here in the third. 4-4 is our score. Dobbs with a shot that got blocked. Firing it back was Schneider's. Now into the neutral zone. Here comes Reebok. Reebok has it, top of the near circle. Through the slot, Reebok on the far circle. And was poked away into the far corner. It's Keith with a good defensive play. Back into the neutral zone it goes. Gathered up. Fired back deep by Tabin. As that'll go right back behind the Grosse Pointe goal. Into the far corner. Here comes Keith. Keith outside the far circle trying to chip it ahead. As that at the far point held in by the Blackhawks. Martin gets it into the neutral zone coming ahead. Here comes Dobbs. Dobbs gets past the defense. Shot! That goes just wide to the far side. Gross in along the far boards. Gross trying to chip that away as a penalty upcoming. 7:44 left to go. as the official talking with the Blackhawk coaching staff. And the hand up looked like a penalty. As they're talking to a scorer's bench. And I do not see anyone going into, nope, there it is. As it is a Blackhawk penalty. I did not catch the call. But into the box goes Snyder's. Interference, the call. Face-off in the far face-off circle. Grosse Pointe on the power play. Face-off is going to be to Culbertson's left. As Grosse versus Josie Cuter, the puck outside the far circle, sent back deep by Alyssa Burney into the far corner. And pulled away by the Blackhawks. Evan trying to get it out the zone. Bouncing puck. Josie Cuter in the high slot. Josie Cuter making her way through. Shot. And poke checked away. Another shot. Saved by Culbertson as the puck comes outside the far circle. Shot there by Alyssa Burney. Deflected out in front. Another shot. Saved by Culbertson. 7:17 left to go here in the third. 4-4 is our score. 1 minute 33 seconds left to go in the Grosse Pointe power play. What a game so far. 5 goals in the first, 3 goals in the second, and a battle tie game here as that puck whistle, and they'll redrop the puck in the far face-off circle with 1 minute 32 seconds left in the Grosse Pointe power play. As the Grosse Pointe fans cheering and chanting in front of us, Blackhawk fans trying to counter on the other side. As Alyssa Burney fires it back, that goes into the near corner, pulled there as Dobbs has it in the near corner, trying to get away. As 7:05 left to go here in the third. The puck into the slot. Now banked down the near boards. Here comes Reebok. Outside the near circle, Reebok goes back behind the goal from the near side to the far side. Reebok underneath the far circle now. Reebok has that poked away. Coming the other direction, here comes Josie Cuter. Josie Cuter over on blue line. Josie Cuter makes a move, gets into the zone. Josie Cuter weaves her way through traffic. Backhanded shot, saved by Culbertson. All the way outside the far circle, Alyssa Burney has it, and shot deflected outside the far circle. Held in at the far point by Grace Cuter. Gets it over on the near circle to Dobbs with the shot. Covered up by Culbertson. 6:23 left to go here in the third. 4-4 is our score. 39 seconds left to go in the Grosse Pointe power play. Well, we already had a triple overtime game in the Wednesday, as that was Huron Skyline taking on and going to triple overtime versus Grosse Pointe South. And puck top of the far circle, drop pass. That shot by Alyssa Burney is covered up by Culbertson. 31 seconds left in the power play. 6:15 left to go in the third. It's the Division II state finals for the Michigan Girls High School Hockey League. Face-off in the far face-off circle. Summerow in versus Josie Cuter. That puck, top of the far circle, Alyssa Burney fires it right back deep. Dobbs picks it up back behind the goal. Dobbs on the far circle with the shot, as Dobbs started off the scoring in this game back in the first. Josie Cuter chases it, held in at the near point by Grace Cuter. Hits it outside the near circle to Josie Cuter. Josie Cuter into near corner, puts it right back behind the goal into the far corner. That fired back, held in at the far point by Alyssa Burney. As that sent outside the near circle. As Josie Cuter trying to hold it, putting it back in. Blackhawks back to full strength, 5:33 left to go. That fired right through the crease. Picked up, now here comes a breakaway. As Summerow, one player to beat. Summerow with the shot. That goes wide outside the near circle. Picked up there, Josie Cuter skating over on blue line. She has Dobbs to her left. Josie Cuter into the zone. That sticked away. Now shot from the top of the far circle goes wide outside the near circle. 5:08 left to go here in the third. All tied up at 4 apiece. That puck back into the Grosse Pointe zone. That'll be icing and head back into the Blackhawk end. 5:02 left to go here in the third. 4-4 is our score as it's all even. Face-off will be in the near face-off circle. That to Culbertson's right. Gross in to take the face-off for the Blackhawks. Martin for Grosse Pointe. That puck pulled back and along the end boards as trying to chip away at it. The puck comes outside the near circle. Holding it in at the near point is Benjamin and sent right back in along the end boards. Outside the near circle now. Martin trying to get it in along the end boards. Martin has that pulled away. Here comes the Blackhawks down the near boards. And back into the neutral zone. Swept back as Keith has it. Now ahead to Martin at her own blue line down the near boards. Martin gets it ahead. That pulled away by Emmett. Right back to the near point, held in by Martin. Martin and knuckleballed all the way back into the Grosse Pointe zone. Keith has it on the near circle. Keith goes back behind her own goal from the near side to the far side. Keith back there trying to avoid Schneider's. And back right to center ice. Here comes in as Emmett puts it back in along the end boards in the Grosse Pointe zone. Fired in along the near boards as Gross fires it right back deep. Banked off the near boards by Benjamin. Now pulled ahead. Here comes Martin. Martin gains his own. Martin top of the near circle. Martin with a shot that goes wide to the near side. That comes outside the far circle as Villani has it back to the near point. Shot there goes wide into the near corner. Martin outside the near circle with it. And tipped back to the blue line. Held in there by Benjamin. Sent outside the far circle. That picked up by Summerall. Summerall goes back behind her own goal from the far side of the near side. Summerall coming down the near boards. 3:30 left to go here in the third. Summerall gains his own. Summerall high slot moving over onto the far circle. Save by Palacio. Puck off the back of the goal. Palacio covers it up. 3:17 left to go here in the third. 4-4 is our score. First of two games. This is the Division II state championship. At 2 o'clock, we'll have the Division I state championship. That is University Liggett versus Grosse Pointe South. Here we have Grosse Pointe North versus Bloomfield-Birmingham Blackhawks. Face off in the far face-off circle. That to Palacio's right. As Reebok puts it into the far corner. Trying to pull it away. The puck outside the far circle now. Lifted. Coming ahead with it, here comes Grosse Pointe, racing ahead. Alyssa Burney gains the zone, trying to get it over to Josie Cuter. That knocked off of the far boards. Plucked up there. Here comes Reebok. Reebok over center. Reebok gains the zone. Reebok outside the near circle with the shot. That goes cross ice all the way outside the far circle. Trying to drive it back deep is Henshin. Right back behind the Grosse Pointe goal. Into the near corner. Keith pulls it down the near boards. Gets that ahead to Dobbs. Dobbs ahead with it. Dobbs racing ahead. Trying to get it into the Blackhawk zone. Dobbs into the near corner. Dobbs pulls him. Trying to cut out in front. There's a shot and that deflected. All the way back. Here comes the Blackhawks. They feed it ahead. Tipped by Reebok into the near corner. Icing waved off because Reebok got a stick on it. Pulled in along the near boards. Coming ahead with it, Keith. And right to the neutral zone. Pulled the other direction. Fired in by Levin. Levin puts it right back behind the goal. Here comes Benjamin underneath the far circle. Benjamin slides it ahead. And down the far boards. Alyssa Burney. Over to Dobbs. Dobbs gains his own. Dobbs outside the near circle. Dobbs into the near corner. Dobbs coming down the goal line. That stick checked away. As a good job by Culbertson to put it in along the boards. Held in at the near point. Now ahead. Blackhawks fire it deep. As Grace Cuter hands it into the near corner. Grace Cuter from the near side to the far side. Back behind her own goal. Gets that over to Alyssa Burney. Alyssa Burney fires it all the way down the ice. And gathered up top of the far circle. Blackhawks fire it into the neutral zone as Emmett trying to get it. And lifted right back into the zone. Delayed offsides, and that'll be offsides called. 1 minute, 27 seconds left to go. Here in the third. 4-4 is our score. Face off in the far face-off circle. As that is Martin in versus Summerall on the far face-off circle into the Blackhawks zone, but they get it ahead to Reebok. Reebok gains the zone. Reebok top of the near circle. Reebok with a shot. That goes high over the crossbar outside the far circle. Gathered up there by Catherine Rittmeyer. Catherine Reitmeyer hands it into the far corner. Back behind is that grabbed. Outside the near circle, Emmett. Outside the near circle, Emmett trying to get it out in front as Catherine Reitmeyer has it there. That goes all the way back and along the near board, swept ahead. Racing, here comes Valenti. Valenti ends up going down at the blue line, fired ahead, coming in. Reebok top of the far circle with the shot. That goes wide outside the near circle. 38 seconds left to go in the third. All knotted up in four-piece. Summerall gets it over onto the near circle. That shot sticked away. It's Catherine Reitmeyer got a piece of it. Now in along the near boards. That pulled back by Josie Cuter. Josie Cuter fires it ahead right to the blue line. Summerall retreats. 20 seconds left to go. Summerall gets it in along the near boards. Martin trying to fire it ahead as that puck into the near corner. And pulled back behind as Emmett fires it in along the far boards, gathered by Reebok. That chip back, but into the neutral zone. 4 seconds left to go. Pulled down, fired ahead by Martin, pulled back in, and that will do it for the third. Well, the final game of Wednesday was triple overtime, and we'll have overtime here as we go in to overtime number 1. All knotted up at 4-4. 5 goals in the first, 3 goals in the second. And then a scoreless third period as they will head off the ice. We'll get an ice resurfacing. And then we'll have 8-minute periods. And so we'll step away momentarily. We'll play a little bit of music as both of these teams get a huge round of applause by their fan base. We're tied up and going to overtime for the Division II State Championship for the Michigan Girls High School Hockey League. We will be right back. This broadcast brought to you by Harbor Broadcasting. as they're finishing resurfacing the ice here as we head to overtime. Let's read the overtime rules for you. The overtime procedure is sudden death overtime victory. At the end of regulation, the two teams go to their locker room, which is, we just saw the ice is to be resurfaced prior to the beginning of overtime. The overtime period shall be 8 minutes, sudden victory. Change of goals for the first overtime period in each subsequent overtime period. If the game remains tied at the end of the first overtime period, there shall be a 2-minute rest period with the teams remaining at the bench, change goals, and continue with the second overtime. At the end of each set of 2-minute overtime periods, the ice will be resurfaced as the teams go to the locker room. Same ice cleaning format is used throughout overtime. If the score remains tied after 4 overtimes have been played, the teams will play all subsequent overtime as 4-on-4 hockey until a winner is determined. That is our rules as we are getting ready to go. As it was all knotted up at the end, only one item of note, an interference call in the fourth, as that was to the Blackhawks. Going into the box for interference was Schneider's. As we are getting ready for the teams to come out. Here comes the Blackhawks out of the locker room. They're in their black jerseys with the purple numbers on the back and on the sleeves. As Hills in diagonally across the front. Grosse Pointe North comes out in their white sweaters with the green shoulders and the yellow trim numbers in green on the front and on the back, and the back end on the front. We'll start off Grosse Pointe North going right to left. Bloomfield-Birmingham going left to right. As they'll have everybody gathered up by the coaching staff getting last moment instructions. Again, 8-minute 5-on-5 periods. After 4 of them, it turns into 4-on-4 hockey. It is sudden death. We had triple overtime Wednesday night in the Division I games. How far into overtime will we go here for the state championship? As they'll actually switch, Grosse Pointe North going left to right, Bloomfield Hills going right to left. This for the state championship. Josie Cuter in to take the face off. Summerow on the other side. And we're ready for overtime. Thank you so much for joining us and watching. What an amazing game. Well, neither of these two teams deserve to lose, but someone is going to win. The puck down the far boards, racing ahead as Benjamin puts it into the zone. Outside the far circle, Dobbs trying to fire it. Back behind the goal, wraparound attempt. And knocked away by Goldbergson. The puck underneath the far circle. Bringing it down the far boards. That was fired ahead by Henshin into the neutral zone. Now Josie Cuter has it at her own blue line. Josie Cuter coming down the near boards through center ice. Josie Cuter on the near circle, poked from behind. That puck picked up back behind by Emmett. Emmett bringing it over center ice. Emmett fires it. Now coming in, Summerow, top of the near circle. Gets it over. Reebok with a shot that got blocked all the way back. Racing ahead. Here comes Josie Cuter. Josie Cuter coming down. She's back behind the defense. Josie Cuter comes in. Backhanded shot. Saved by Culbertson. That puck fired all the way back into the neutral zone. Intercepted, fired the other direction by Benjamin. That puck loose right at center. Here comes down the far boards. Dobbs has it chipped away. Loose at center. Now brought in by Summerow outside the near circle, centering attempt. That deflected outside. Now Reebok trying to head the other direction. Cross ice pass. Summerow has it outside the far circle, back to the far point. Shot from there. At deflects into the near corner, all the way back to the near point. Held in there by Henshin. Into the near corner. That deflected to the blue line, held in by Catherine Reitmeyer. as that puck put right back behind the Grosse Pointe goal. Dobbs with it there. Dobbs bringing it ahead. Dobbs comes over on blue line. Dobbs races down the far boards. Dobbs comes in. Dobbs top of the far circle, then steered into the far corner. Dobbs tries to chip it out in front. Is Emmett keeping it from going out in front, loose on the near circle. Pulled away. Here comes, racing the other direction. Summerow has it. Summerow top of the near circle. Summerow into the near corner. It is all knotted up at 4 apiece. 5:50 left to go. The puck into the far corner as we are in overtime here for the state championship for Division II. Here comes Josie Cuter in the high slot. Poke checked away, coming in. Shot by Alyssa Burney, got knocked away. Coming down the far boards, here comes the Blackhawks. Ahead with it, gaining the zone is Gross on the near circle, shot and sticked away by Palacio. Outside the far circle it goes. Pulling it back behind, here comes Reebok. Reebok underneath the near circle. Reebok top of the near circle. Reebok with the shot, and out in front, loose, and a save. At 5:09, Placio got the puck. Couple good opportunities for the Blackhawks, and Placio able to keep it out. 5:09 left to go here in the first overtime. 4-4 is our score. Face-off will be in the near face-off circle. As Martin in to take the face-off for Grosse Pointe. Grosse on the other side, both fan bases cheering, trying to get the win. That sticked into the near corner by Placio. Outside the near circle it goes. That puck back held in at the near point. Sent back deep by Tabbitt. Into the far corner is Grace Cuter trying to fire it away. That puck lifted to the far point, held in, centering attempt. Now that deflected in along the near boards of the neutral zone. Brought right back in by Tabbitt. Tabbitt fires it back behind as Leah Burney into the far corner of her own zone. Trying to get it ahead to Valenti. That knocked down. Cross-ice pass that deflected outside the near circle. Firing it back deep is Schneiders. And it goes right back behind the Grosse Pointe goal. Deflected back, top of the far circle. Loose, firing it back on that far circle. Swipe back into the neutral zone. At tip by the Blackhawks as it goes all the way back into the far corner. Racing over to get it, Valenti. And on the far circle, coming in, shot, bouncing puck onto the near circle. That wouldn't settle down for Brum. That puck down on the near boards. Here comes Reebok. Ahead to Summerow. Summerow outside the near circle. Summerow set and all the way back to the far point. Bringing it ahead. And fired all the way down into the Blackhawk zone. That is going to be icing and head back into the Grosse Pointe end. As you can change on an icing in high school hockey, you cannot in college or pro. Face-off in the far face-off circle. Obviously, we got a few people standing up at times. So we'll do our best to try and call it out and keep you in the loop as Josie Cutter versus Summerow. In the far face-off circle, 3:52 left to go here in the first overtime. Pulled away, coming ahead with it. Here comes Alyssa Burney. Alyssa Burney down the far boards. Alyssa Burney moves it over. Here comes Brum. Brum with a shot and a glove save by Culbertson. 3:40 left to go here in the first overtime. Division II state championship for the Michigan Girls High School Hockey League. Face-off in the far face-off circle. Summerow versus Josie Cuter. No one deserves to lose this game, but somebody's going to win. As Josie Cuter pulling it that outside of the far circle. Dobbs puts it back. That pulled away. Blackhawks had it now back into the far corner. Dobbs has it in the slot and put outside the near circle. Dobbs into the near corner. Centering attempt. And all the way back as Keith has it at the near point, trying to keep it in. A puck coming ahead into the neutral zone. Keith trying to poke it away from Reebok. And deep, fired down the far boards. Deflected as Emmett has it top of the far circle in her own zone. 3:08 left to go here in the first overtime. Emmett Gets it right to center ice. Bouncing puck, picked up. Coming ahead with it. Here comes Alyssa Burney. Alyssa Burney outside the far circle. Alyssa Burney trying to put it deep. That deflected. It's Josie Cuter at it. Now the other direction. Here comes Reebok. Reebok into the zone. Top of the far circle. Gets it over to Summerall with a shot. Saved by Placio. 2:44 left to go here in the first overtime. 4-4 is our score. Both goalkeepers have made some huge game-saving saves. Face-off in the near face-off circle. That's Duplacio's right. Gross in to take the face-off versus Martin. As that puck in the near circle, sent back top of the near circle. As Hentgen had it, puts it outside the near circle, into the near corner. Grosse Pointe, Blackhawks have it. As that's moved over outside the near corner for Grosse, put right back behind the Grosse Pointe goal. Collected there by Leah Burney, sending it ahead. Here comes Grosse Pointe over. Here comes Brum. Brum fires it deep and pulled back in along the near boards by Emmon. Now loose, fired ahead, right back to the Grosse Pointe blue line. Fired ahead by Leah Burney, down the far boards, trying to get it. Belani has it into the far corner as Emmon goes down, loses an edge. That puck all the way back outside the far circle. Bringing it ahead. Here comes Levin. Levin gains his own. Levin trying to move it over through the slot as that is going to be pulled right back into the neutral zone. Dobbs the other direction. Dobbs gains his own. Dobbs top of the far circle. Dobbs comes in with a shot. That one just goes wide into the near corner. A puck outside the near circle trying to pull it away. Coming back to the near point, firing at Leah Burney. That puck right back behind the Bloomfield Blackhawks goal. Here comes Reebok. Reebok as there is a whistle. 1 minute, 27 seconds left to go here in the first overtime. As into officials talking things over. 4-4 is the score. Officials talking with the Grosse Pointe North staff. Again, if they do not score, if neither team scores in this overtime, they'll have a 2 minutes rest period between the two overtimes, and then they will head right back out onto the ice. So nobody into the box. 1 minute, 27 seconds left to go. That face-off in the near face-off circle, back in the Grosse Pointe zone. Now they have someone in the box, so penalty to Grosse Pointe into the box at 1:27 as Bloomfield-Birmingham Blackhawks have the extra player. That cleared all the way down the ice by Grosse Pointe. As, by the way, in the box is Leah Burney. And puck right back behind, pulling it over. Coming down the near boards is Hentgen. Hentgen fires it and fired right back in by Alyssa Burney. Knocked down. Here comes Reebok. Reebok. One-on-one. Reebok on the near circle. Reebok comes in. Centering attempt and cleared away. Fired the other direction by Alyssa Burney. Outside the near circle it goes. The puck in along the M boards. Josie Cuter coming down the far boards. Josie Cuter gets ahead of steam over center ice. Josie Cuter comes on the near circle. Shot. Save as that sticked onto the near corner. Excellent save by Culbertson. Now the other direction. Reebok gets it over to Summerall. Summerall at the near point. Summerall fires it back. 27 seconds left to go in the first overtime. 57 seconds left to go in the power play to the Blackhawks. The puck outside the far circle. Swept right back by Reebok into the near corner. 15 seconds left to go as the Blackhawks have it outside the near circle. Summerall puts it back behind. 10 seconds left in the first overtime. Puck outside the far circle. 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds. And to double overtime we go. There'll be a 2-minute rest period, and then we will go right back into it. The 33-second power play will stay as we're trying to maneuver our camera where it's got a lot of people standing up here, and need to get some scaffolding so we can get higher, but that's okay. Everybody is excited on pins and needles as we head to double overtime here for the Division II state championship game between Grosse Pointe North and the Bloomfield-Birmingham Blackhawks. Blackhawks have the 5-on-4 power play for 33 seconds heading into the second overtime. If we get past 4 overtimes, it will go to 4-on-4 hockey, as they'll switch directions. And Grosse Pointe North. Grosse Pointe South plays at 2 o'clock. Grosse Pointe North will go from right to left. Blackhawks will go from left to right, I believe, as they'll flip directions. Last minute adjustments out there by the coaching staff. Boy, you couldn't ask for a better state championship game to start off the day. Double overtime between both of these high-powered offenses. Some amazing saves, great defensive plays, keeping this game even all throughout the third period and the first overtime. Here we go with overtime number 2. As Blackhawks come out off of the bench. Robertson will skate over to our left. Palacio will skate over to our right. Both of these fan bases trying to do what they can to urge their team to an overtime victory. Face off right at center ice as it is Summerow in to take the face off on the other side. Looks like it's going to be Josie Cuter, leading point getter in the league this year. Face off at center ice, controlled by Birmingham, and there was a horn, and they'll redrop that again, I believe. Due to the horn, 33 seconds left in the power play to the Blackhawks. So they have 5-on-4 for just a hair over half a minute. Thank you for watching. Thank you for checking out this fantastic, amazing game coming down the far boards. Fired ahead by Alyssa Burney as that goes all the way back deep. 25 seconds left to go in the Blackhawk power play into the near corner. Trying to work her way around. Josie Cuter has it, top of the near circle. That puck pulled away. Here comes the Blackhawks down the near boards. That swept, deflected right back in, top of the far circle. 10 seconds left on the Blackhawk power play. As they feed that all the way back, plucked up by Alyssa Burney at her own blue line, now moved over. Here comes Reebok, Grosse Pointe North, back to full strength. Reebok, backhanded shot, saved by Placio. A puck outside the near circle now, trying to pull it away. As that pulled back, loose, fired into the slot. As Summerow trying to get to it, still loose. Coming, Reebok with a wide angle shot, and they score! Reebok puts it in, and the Blackhawks win as it came just from a wide angle shot and might have deflected off of the skate of Placio. And the Bloomfield-Birmingham Blackhawks are your Division II state champions for the Michigan Girls High School Hockey League. As, again, amazing game by both of these squads. As Grosse Pointe North gathers around their goalkeeper, Placio, to give her all the love. She played a heck of a game. Both of these squads played well enough to win, but someone had to come out on top. And Bloomfield-Birmingham, with a wide angle shot, able to fire it in. Reebok with the goal. As now they'll have the trophy presentation. As the Birmingham Blackhawks win in an amazing back and forth game between these two teams, as Mike Chowdhury, athletic director for Bloomfield, will come out to give the trophy and the information and all of the items to the team as a couple players lose an edge. Grosse Pointe North again, huge hugs as both of these teams played an amazing, fantastic game. It's the wide angle shot off of a skate to win the state championship for the Blackhawks. As Culbertson getting the crowd. As Bloomfield-Birmingham has won. As they're skating around after the best tradition in all sports, the post-game handshake. As they have the two plaques over across the way. As runner-up, Grosse Pointe North Norseman. State champions, Bloomfield-Birmingham Blackhawks. As we'll try and hang here long enough for the trophy presentation, then we'll get set up for game number 2. Game number 2. There's Paul Dion, the league president across the way.
Paul Dion, the president of the Michigan Girls High School Hockey League. He is here to give out the individual awards.
So Paul Dion here to hand out the trophies. President of the league, also Huron Skyline coach. And now for the state runner-up, Grosse Pointe North. Cleveland skates over. As they'll skate over and get their medals.
Number 10, Gabby
Rump skates over to get her medal for the runner-up for the state championship.
Number 11, Josie Cuter.
Josie Cuter skates over to get her medal.
12, Grace Cuter.
Grace Cuter skates over to get her medal.
Number 13, Leah Burnett.
Leah Burney skates over to get her medal from Paul Dion. Alyssa Burney skating over to get her medal.
Number 15, Ava Villani.
Villani skates over to get her medal.
Number 16, Key Benjamin.
Benjamin skates over to get her medal.
19, Kate Kasuba.
Kasuba skates over to get her medal.
Number 19, Nola Keith.
Keith skates over to the podium there. Dobbs had the first goal of the game, goes over to get her medal. Paige Martin goes over across the way. And Olivia Palacio. And she gets her medal. As there.
Coach Casey Quick.
And now they have the coach come over to get the state runner-up plaque. State Division II runner-up, the Grosse Pointe Norsemen. Fantastic season, and what a game today, battling till the very last moment. Now for your Division II state champions, the Bloomfield-Birmingham Blackhawks.
Now for the individual awards. Number 2, Sarah Morsi.
Morsi skates over to the podium.
Number 3, Isabella LaHood Sarkis.
LaHood Sarkis skates over to the podium.
Number 4, Sammy Pollitt.
Pollitt skates over to get the medal.
Number 5, Sydney Arnkoff.
Arnkoff skates over across the way to get the medal.
Number 6, Mary Reitmeyer.
Mary Reitmeyer from the Blackhawks skates over to the podium.
Number 7, Gracie George.
George makes her way over across the way.
Jesse
Reba, who had a fantastic game and the game-winning goal in double overtime. As Catherine Reitmeyer skates over. Number 11, Gross skates over. Number of key face-offs. Tabin skates over to the table.
Number 15, Elizabeth Culbertson.
Culbertson had a huge game, number of huge saves. Crawford skates over to the table. Schneiders heads over across the way. Fulton goes to the podium to get, or the table to get her medal. Badalo heads over across the way. Ruba heads over to get her medal. Hinkin heads over to get her medal. As Levitt goes over to get her medal. Beaufray heads over to the table. Summerall skates over to get her medal. And Glacier skates over to get her medal. And now the team award for the head coach. The Division II State Championship plaque. One more time, your Division II State champions are the Bloomfield-Birmingham Blackhawks. Congratulations to both teams, their fan bases, and everyone involved who played a heck of a season. It is always a pleasure to watch these wonderful athletes play. We will be back at 1:50 for the Division I State Championship game between Grosse Pointe South and University Liggett. As we will be back, thank you, and congratulations again to the Bloomfield-Birmingham Blackhawks for the state championship. And goodbye from my cameraman, James Wiseman. My name is Mark Wiseman. We'll return for the Division I championship.